The question that keeps you awake at night. Let me ask you something personal. Have you ever lied about your age on a dating app just to avoid the conversation? Have you ever sat with your girlfriends as they shared stories about their exes, their boyfriends, their husbands, and felt that familiar knot in your stomach because you had nothing to share? Have you ever gone to a family wedding and endured those looks, the sympathetic head tilts, the whispered conversations, the auntie who inevitably asks, if you're a woman over 30 who's still a virgin, I know you've felt it. The pressure, the judgment, the unspoken question that follows you everywhere like a shadow. What's wrong with you? And the worst part? You start asking yourself the same question. You lie in bed at night, staring at the ceiling, wondering if something is broken inside you, wondering if you've waited too long, wondering if anyone will ever want you now. I'm here today, on the Angel's Call, to tell you something that might surprise you. There is absolutely nothing wrong with you. And no, being 30 plus and a virgin is not a problem unless you let other people convince you that it is. Let's talk about this. Honestly, bravely, without judgment. First, let's define what we're really talking about. Before we go any further, I need you to understand something important. When we say virgin, what do we really mean? Society has created this very narrow definition that virginity is about a specific physical act, usually involving penetration, usually within the context of a heterosexual relationship. And that definition has been used for centuries to control women, to shame them, to define their worth. But here's the truth. Virginity is a social construct, not a medical reality. Dr. Sarah Tang, a clinical psychologist specializing in women's sexual health, explains it this way. The concept of virginity has no consistent medical definition. What one culture considers losing virginity, another might not. The hymen, which has been historically used as proof of virginity, can be stretched or torn through many non-sexual activities like sports, tampon use, or medical exams. Using it as a measure of virginity is scientifically inaccurate. So when I ask, is being 30 plus and a virgin a problem? I'm asking about something that society has created, not something that inherently exists. And that's important to remember because problems that society creates can be solved by changing how we think, not by changing who we are. For some women, being a virgin at 30 plus is a conscious choice rooted in faith. For others, it's about waiting for the right person. For some, it's about focusing on career, education, or personal growth. For others still, it's about not having found the right opportunity or relationship. And for some, it's about asexuality, past trauma, or simply not prioritizing sex in their lives. All of these reasons are valid, all of them are normal, and none of them make you less of a woman. The voices in your head and where they come from. Let's talk about those voices, the ones that whisper or shout that you're somehow failing at womanhood. Where do they come from? The first voice is culture. In many South Asian communities, a woman's value has traditionally been tied to marriage and motherhood. From the time we're little girls, we're told stories that end with, and they got married and lived happily ever after. We're shown that a woman's ultimate achievement is becoming a wife and mother. So when you reach 30 without having done either, it feels like you've missed the deadline for your own life. The second voice is religion. For Muslim women especially, there's often a deep commitment to saving intimacy for marriage. This is a beautiful, meaningful choice. But it also means that if marriage hasn't happened yet, neither has physical intimacy. And in communities where early marriage is common, being 30 plus and unmarried can feel like you're the only one. The third voice is media. Movies, TV shows, books, they all tell us that sex is a normal, expected part of adult life. Characters in their 20s and 30s are shown having casual hookups, passionate affairs, committed relationships. The message is clear. This is what adults do. So if you're not doing it, you must not be a real adult. The fourth voice is your friends. Even well-meaning friends can add to the pressure. They share stories, they ask questions, they make jokes, and every time You feel that gap between their experiences and yours widening. And the fifth voice, the loudest one, is yourself. You've internalized all these messages. You've started believing them. You've started wondering if something really is wrong with you. But here's what I want you to understand: these voices don't speak truth, they speak culture, tradition, and expectation. And those things can be questioned. Real stories from real women. Let me introduce you to some women who have walked this path. Their names have been changed, but their stories are real. Aisha, 34, from Chicago. I'm a practicing Muslim, and I always knew I wanted to wait until marriage, but I didn't expect to still be waiting at 34. There were years when I felt so ashamed. When my cousins would get married, I'd hide in the bathroom during the parts where they talked about the wedding night. I felt like a child playing dress up while everyone else was a real adult. Then one day, my aunt, the same aunt who always asked when I was getting married, told me she admired my strength. She said, "You didn't settle. You didn't give in to pressure. You stayed true to what you believe." And for the first time, I saw myself through her eyes. I wasn't behind. I was staying true to myself. Priya, 38, from New Jersey. I'm not religious. I just never met anyone I wanted to be with. I was focused on my career. I traveled. I built a life I loved. But I still felt this shame about being a virgin, like I was somehow defective. When I finally did meet someone at 37, I was terrified to tell him. I expected him to laugh or to be weirded out or to treat me like I was fragile. Instead, he said, "So, that just means you're selective? I like that." We've been together for a year now, and I'm so grateful I waited for someone who sees my choices as strengths, not weaknesses. Fatima, 41, from London. I'm asexual, which means I don't experience sexual attraction. For years, I thought something was medically wrong with me. I went to doctors, I tried therapy, I forced myself into situations I didn't want to be in, all because I thought I needed to be fixed. Then I discovered the asexual community online, and everything clicked. I'm not broken, I'm just different. My virginity isn't a lack, it's simply a reflection of who I am, and that's okay. Samira, 32, from Houston. I was sexually abused as a child, and for years, the thought of being intimate with anyone terrified me. I went to therapy, I did the work, I healed as much as I could. But even now, at 32, I'm not ready, and I've learned to be okay with that. My body, my history, my timeline. No one else gets to decide when I'm ready except me. Each of these women has a different story, but they share one thing. They've all had to fight against the shame that society tries to place on them, and they've all come out the other side, stronger for it. What science and psychology say. Let's look at what experts actually say about this topic. Dr. Lauren Smith, a clinical psychologist specializing in women's issues. The idea that there's a right timeline for sexual experience is completely culturally constructed. In my practice, I see women of all ages who are virgins for all kinds of reasons: religious beliefs, personal choice, lack of opportunity, asexuality, trauma history. The common thread isn't that something is wrong with them. The common thread is that they're suffering because of what others think. Dr. Nadia Ahmed, a psychiatrist and relationship counselor. I've worked with countless women who come to me feeling broken because they're over 30 and still virgins. Almost always, the real issue isn't their virginity, it's the shame they've internalized. Once we work through that shame, they start to see themselves differently. They realize that their worth was never tied to their sexual history. Research on sexual satisfaction shows something fascinating. People who wait longer to have sex, whether by choice or circumstance, often report higher sexual satisfaction when they do become sexually active. Why? Because they've had more time to understand themselves, to communicate their needs, and to choose partners who truly respect them. And here's something else the research shows. There is no medical or psychological harm in being a virgin at any age. None. Zero. Your body isn't going to forget how to have sex. You're not going to miss your chance. Sex isn't like a train that leaves the station and never comes back. It's a skill, a connection, an experience that can happen at any age when the time is right for you. The double standard. Why men and women are treated differently. We can't have this conversation without talking about the elephant in the room, the double standard. A 30-plus man who's a virgin? Society might call him shy or focused on his career or saving himself. He might get teased, but he's rarely shamed the way women are. His value isn't tied to his sexual experience. A 30-plus woman who's a virgin? She's called frigid, picky, difficult, broken. People assume something must be wrong with her. They whisper behind her back. They pity her. This double standard isn't an accident. It's rooted in centuries of patriarchal thinking that defined women by their purity and their relationship to men. And while we've made progress in so many areas, this particular belief has been stubbornly persistent. But here's the thing, you don't have to accept this double standard. You can look at it, recognize it for what it is, a tool of control, and decide that you won't let it define you. Your body, your choices, your timeline. That's the only standard that matters. If you're waiting for marriage for faith or personal reasons. For many women watching this, your virginity is a conscious choice rooted in faith. You're waiting for marriage because your religion teaches that intimacy is sacred, meant for the covenant of marriage. This is a beautiful, meaningful commitment. But that doesn't make the waiting easy, especially when marriage hasn't happened yet, and you're watching friends and family members get married while you're still waiting. If this is you, here's what I want you to hear. Your waiting has value. It's not time wasted. It's time spent honoring your beliefs, staying true to yourself, and building a life that will make you a better partner when the right person comes along. Yes, it's hard. Yes, there are lonely moments. Yes, you wonder if it will ever happen. But every day that you stay true to your values, you're building something that no one can take from you: integrity. And when the right person does come, and I believe they will, you'll bring a whole, complete, grounded self to that relationship. Not someone desperate because they've been waiting, someone secure because they've been living. If you're not waiting, it just hasn't happened yet. Maybe you're not waiting for religious reasons. Maybe you're open to intimacy, open to relationships, open to love. It just hasn't happened yet. You've dated, you've put yourself out there, you've hoped. And for whatever reason, timing, circumstances, not meeting the right person, you haven't had sex yet. This can feel especially painful because it's not a choice you made. It's just how life unfolded. And every romantic comedy, every love song, every couple holding hands on the street can feel like a reminder that you're being left behind. If this is you, I want to tell you something important. Your story isn't over. You're not behind. You're not unwanted. You're a person whose romantic timeline hasn't aligned yet, and that's a very different thing. Think about all the other areas of your life. Did you get your dream job at exactly the age you planned? Did you buy a house exactly when you thought you would? Did you achieve every goal on your personal timeline? Probably not. Life doesn't work that way, and love doesn't either. The right person isn't going to care about your lack of experience. The right person is going to care about you, who you are, how you love, how you show up. And when you find that person, your path to them will make sense. Not because it was easy, but because it was yours. What about the practical side? First-time concerns. Let's address the practical concerns that might be running through your mind. Will it hurt? For many women, the first time can be uncomfortable or even painful, but it doesn't have to be. Pain during first intercourse is often related to anxiety, lack of arousal, or insufficient lubrication. If you're with a caring, patient partner who prioritizes your comfort, if you take things slowly, if you communicate openly, the experience can be positive and pleasurable. And if you have ongoing pain, there are medical conditions, like vaginismus, that can be treated. You're not doomed to a lifetime of painful sex. Will he be able to tell? Some men might claim they can tell if a woman is a virgin. This is largely myth. While some women have bleeding or discomfort, many don't. The hymen varies greatly from woman to woman, and its appearance tells you nothing about sexual history. Any man who claims to be able to tell is either misinformed or trying to control you. Will I be bad at sex? Here's a secret. Everyone is bad at sex at first, not just you. Sex is a skill that improves with communication, practice, and comfort with your partner. The first time with any new partner involves a learning curve. Your lack of experience doesn't make you worse than anyone else. It just means you'll be learning together with someone who cares about you. How do I tell him? This is the question that comes up most often, and the answer is simple. Honestly and early enough that it's not a shock, but not so early that it becomes the entire focus. You might say something like, I want you to know that I haven't been in a serious relationship before, so this is new for me. I'm excited to share this with you, and I hope we can go at a pace that feels comfortable for both of us. A good partner will respond with care and patience. A bad partner will reveal themselves through their reaction, and that's information you need. Dealing with family and society. Let's be real. Sometimes the hardest part isn't your own feelings, it's everyone else's opinions. The auntie who asks at every family gathering, the cousin who got married at 25 and can't understand why you haven't, the parents who drop hints about settling down, the friends who set you up on blind dates you never asked for. How do you handle it? First, set boundaries. You don't have to answer personal questions. A simple, I'm happy with where I am right now, thank you, said with a smile, can shut down most inquiries. If someone persists, you can say, that's a personal topic I don't discuss. You're allowed to have privacy. Second, find your people. Surround yourself with friends who support you, who don't make you feel less than, who see your whole self, not just your relationship status. These people are your lifeline. Third, remember that their opinions are about them, not you. When someone pressures you about marriage or relationships, they're often projecting their own fears, their own timelines, their own beliefs about how life should go. That's their stuff to deal with. Don't make it yours. Fourth, give your family time. Parents, especially, may need time to adjust to a different timeline than they expected. Show them through your life that you're happy, fulfilled, and whole with or without a partner. Eventually, most families come around when they see their daughter thriving. The beautiful truth about being 30 plus and virgin. Now, let me tell you the truth that no one talks about. The beautiful, liberating truth. You know yourself. By 30 plus, you've had time to figure out who you are. You know what you want, what you need, what you won't tolerate. You're bringing a fully formed self to any future relationship, not a teenager looking for someone to complete her. You've built a life. You have a career or skills or passions. You have friends who love you. You have experiences and memories and stories. You're not waiting for a relationship to start your life, you're living it fully, and a relationship will add to that, not create it. You've developed resilience. You've faced the questions, the pressure, the judgment, and you're still here, still you, still standing. That takes strength. That takes character. You'll choose wisely. Women who wait, whether by choice or circumstance, often end up in more satisfying relationships because they've had time to clarify what they want. They're less likely to settle. They're more likely to recognize a good partner when they find one. You have nothing to prove. Your worth was never tied to your sexual history. It was never tied to your relationship status. It was always, always about who you are as a person, your kindness, your strength, your integrity, your light. What experts want you to remember. Let me leave you with the wisdom of professionals who've worked with countless women in your situation. Dr. Sarah Nasser, sex therapist. The most common regret I hear from women who waited is not that they wait edits, that they spent so many years feeling ashamed of waiting. The shame was the real problem, not the waiting itself. Imam Khalid Latif, religious leader and counselor. In Islam, we believe that every soul is created for a purpose, and every person's journey is unique. Comparing your path to someone else's is not only unfair to yourself, it's a form of ingratitude for the life Allah has given you. Dr. Maya Gupta, psychologist. Your body, your choices, your timeline. No one else gets a vote. The only person who needs to be comfortable with your sexual history is you and the partner you choose to share it with. Rebecca, 45, who married at 42. I wish I could go back to my 30-year-old self and say, stop worrying, stop rushing, stop thinking you're broken. The love you're waiting for is coming, and it will be beautiful because you're whole when it arrives. To every angel watching, dear angel, if you're 30 plus and a virgin, I want you to hear this. You are not a problem to be solved. You are a person to be loved. Your virginity is not a stain, a lack, or a failure. It's simply a fact about your life so far, nothing more, nothing less. It doesn't define you. It doesn't limit you. It doesn't determine your future. The only question that matters is this. Are you living your life in a way that feels true to you? Are you honoring your values, your beliefs, your timeline? Are you building a life you love, whether or not a partner is in it? If the answer is yes, then you're exactly where you need to be. And if the answer is no, if you're living in fear of judgment, if you're hiding who you are, if you're letting shame drive your decisions, then the problem isn't your virginity. The problem is the shame. And that, my angel, is something you can work on with therapy, with support, with self compassion, with time. You are not alone. There are millions of women around the world on the same path. Women of faith, women of ambition, women of strength, women who waited and found love, women who waited and built beautiful lives on their own, women who are still waiting and living fully while they do. Your story is still being written, and the best chapters, they're ahead of you. If this video helped you, share it with another angel who needs to hear it. Comment below what's one thing you're letting go of today. And don't forget to subscribe to The Angel's Call for more real talk about everything that matters to women like us. Until next time, remember, you are not behind. You are not broken. You are not alone. You are exactly where you need to be on your own beautiful, unique journey.